My channel is 100% viewer supported, but steadily eating away at your morality. I know, right? Patreon.
Hey guys, welcome to a 50 random facts about me tag video. I am really unprepared. I've done a video like this once years ago and I deleted it years ago because I didn't like how I looked. But it was up for like years. But it was years ago. A couple things before we get started. 3 things. 1, the eye makeup, the face, the lips, the hair, the lifestyle. If you, this is the Too Faced Pretty Mess collection. I did a review tutorial of this. It will be on YouTube. I'll include a link in the description of this video. You can check it out. 2, before I get started, I'm going to say this at the beginning because I keep forgetting, even though there's a sticky note right in front of me that says Patreon. If you like what you see, please check me out on Patreon if you'd like to support the channel. There are a number of different tier levels with rewards at each one. In fact, one of them I'll mention in a second because I pulled up I have a private Instagram account as one of the reward levels, or one of the rewards for one of the levels. And I asked people there last night, I'm going to do this 50 random facts tag video. Is there anything you would like to see or like me to talk about? And so I have a couple kind of questions here that I'm going to answer. Third thing, this is a tag video, meaning I was tagged by, and if you want to do it, tag, you're it. I don't, who do I know that does videos? Beth, do this. Get off your ass. Do this video. Will you? You probably won't. Gloss galore. Check her out on YouTube. I was tagged by You Happy Beauty. She did this. I watched it. I like her channel. I will include a link to it and the video, or just the video, and then you can find her channel in the description of this one. I like her personality. I wanted to watch her talk about herself for 20 minutes, so I watched it. And then when she got to the point where she said that her first car was named Sheila E., I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need your phone number because we're gonna have to be friends now. So I don't have anything written in front of me. I'm totally unprepared. I have a pad of paper and I have a pencil. I'm gonna be checking off things. Hopefully I remember to do this right. I'm gonna be checking off things as we go until we get to 50. And I will start with the only one that I can remember from her video, which was the name of my first car. Meaning, she didn't say the name of my first car. I'm going to tell you the name of my first. You get what I'm saying. My first car was a 1984 Ford T-Bird that I called Creme Brulee, the color. That's not the name. We'll get to that in a second. Hold your horses. Depending on which cop pulled me over at the time, it was referred to as white, cream, beige, and gold, which I thought was a stretch. Never like nude or bone, but those colors instead. I named it Coco Shanae. And when I got it, I did what I always, this is going to be another one, I did what I always used to do with things when I didn't really know what to do with them. It had a back seat, and it was my own car, and I had a back seat of my own. What do I do with it? Well, decorate it, of course. So I put throw pillows in, and I put like leopard print fabric, like fake fur, incense holders in the like little ashtray. I put like pebbles in and put like a thing for incense. I'm sure that I had ribbons and stuff around in there. I'm sure that I did. It was a thing. When we got our first computer, I didn't know what to do with it. I didn't know how to turn it on, and so I decorated it. I remember it was my job to set it up while my parents were at work, and I didn't know. I put it on the table, but then I put doilies and dried rosebuds and candles, and my dad came home from work and he's like, "You're breaking the computer," and I'm like, "No, I'm decorating it. I don't know what to do." This was back in Myst days. Do you remember Myst? I played Myst on that computer. Windows 3.1, yo, bring me the blue pages. Yeah. So let's talk about some of the things, because I don't know what I'm going to say. Let's talk about some of the stuff that people have asked on here, because I guess this is also questions. questions, yo. Your history with Mac, that's one of them. And I skipped one, I realized. So I'll answer this first, and then I'll go back to the one that I just missed. My history with Mac. I don't have, I've never worked for Mac. I have never tried to work for Mac. I have no plans to work for Mac. I used to try and get in touch with their PR back when I was doing like a lot of Mac videos, and that was kind of like before it was really a thing, like before people were getting sent like stuff left and right. And no one would talk to me. Like everybody ignored me. They weren't rude. They were nice. They were just really uninterested. This was after I'd done that Mac Guide to Mac Foundation video. And I thought, I'm thinking that I'm kind of sort of popular-ish at the time. And there wasn't anybody doing like, I didn't think, the quality of reviews that I was doing. Like with like all the foundations and stuff. I don't know. But they didn't care. So yeah. That, I guess they just ignored me. Which you would think would bother me more. Well, let's this third. And then I'll go back to this. So one of my biggest... I'm not even going to say if it's a peeve. And I don't know if I should say this publicly. Being ignored, discounted, talked to, or treated like I don't matter will... I used to fly into a rage about it. That would be something that my temper would just like go like off the charts. Not so much anymore, but it still gets to me. That's something that will just like dig. It's like an old wound that it will just scratch at. And we all have those things, like our sort of our legacy pain that we walk around with, and things that don't matter to me might completely activate it for you. It's just a thing. It's just what it is. But yeah, and vice versa, I guess, if that's the right way to say that. Also watching people be ignored, or like seeing someone treat someone like they don't matter or something like that will also set me off. Okay, back to the first question that I skipped. How did you and Jeff meet? We met at the gym, actually. Our lockers were in the same kind of alcove, and so we were next to each other-ish. We didn't talk much. I checked him out. He didn't know. He checked me out. I didn't know. Eventually, we started talking, and then we would warm up together before workouts. And in the summer, there's an outdoor track, and we would walk around at the gym, and we would walk around this outdoor track and just talk. And eventually, like those walking, talking things, it just took like longer than the workout. So we would just get together and walk around the track for like an hour and a half, and just visit with each other. And then it was like, oh, well, done at the gym. But that's how we met. That's how we started talking. We were just buds first. I had a chartreuse green mohawk at the time. Those of you who watch my channel for a long time or have seen a lot of my content may actually remember that mohawk. So, makeup lines other than MAC that I like. I was a huge Aveda nut for years. I still do like the brand. I used to be really into their makeup. They used to make some kick-ass, kind of even weird products. They had this cream color that was like a multi-use in a compact, and it was silver, blue, purple, maybe pink, all swirled together in this marbled texture, and you were just supposed to use it as a whatever. And it came out this like really awesome gunmetal color. It was similar to, if you know what, and I hate that it's discontinued, Silver Ring by MAC looks like, but then make it a little more purple. That's kind of what it looked like. It was an awesome product. I loved it. They used to do some fun stuff. But yeah, that was something, that was a brand that I really liked. Now it's like, Estee Lauder, I still like some of their stuff. I haven't been as into them because once Tom Peugeot left, it just like kind of, they sort of started to fizzle out a little bit for me, and they're doing the thing that everybody's doing, which is trying their damnedest to get attention from, like the Instagram crowd. And I don't know, it's a little alienating. The Joan Collins, I've been really into that brand for, as you know, for a number of years. I tend to like to talk on YouTube about brands who people don't talk a lot about. So like I stopped with MAC when like it just seemed like there was a collection coming out all the time, and everybody's like, eh. And now I'm having fun talking about MAC again because no one's talking about it anymore. It's like, oh, I remember. Yeah, they are a company. They're around. I don't know why I put a check mark a minute ago. I was going to tell you my first makeup that I bought, though, was a Wet n Wild red lipstick. It's basically the same red that comes out at Halloween. They have like a red and a black that they come out with in like this old style bullet. It smelled like a crayon. I wore it to the county fair that summer, and I thought I was just hot shit. I also bought a blue, like a light blue, light pink eyeshadow duo, and I remember getting really frustrated because it didn't come with the directions, and how the hell was I supposed to know how to put on makeup? And I think that's when I started asking friends and people, like, what are you supposed to do? I don't know. How many pairs of glasses do you have? I have right now, I just bought two. I got two, like a new prescription. I got two new lenses, a black pair that you'll see later. And I kind of updated my dad glasses, is what I call them. Then I have the wired framed ones. I like those old glasses. I really do. The new ones are a little more aviator. They're a little less registered looking, so they're probably a little more friendly. I should do an eyeglasses show and tell, because I keep most of my old frames. I'll just pop the lenses out if they're scratched. If they're fine, I'll leave them as a, holy crap, I can't find my glasses, or I broke my glasses, I need a backup pair, so that I can at least see enough to get around. Because I am blind as a bat. Hey, that's a fact. Someone asked me skincare products. Any skincare products that you use and like. I hate to. No, I don't. I like to mention this again. The Joan Collins Timeless Beauty line. I am digging the skincare. I've been really into this brand for the last couple years. The Rose Optimise hydrating lotion is so good. So good. And the eye serum I use as a face serum, and I think that it does a wonderful job, and I like how my skin looks when I use it regularly. I just think that it looks good. I have read reviews of the night cream that people with sensitive skin really have gravitated towards it and like it, because it's just a nice kind of I always want to say fatty. It's a nice fatty feeling nighttime moisturizer that's really non-irritating. Don't take my word for it if you have sensitive skin, because I don't want to be responsible for that. But it's just something that I've read. Not a fan of advanced night repair, but I'm going to give you a tip. This is going to be another fun fact, something that I like to do with it, because I get samples of it whenever it's like gift with purchase week at Estee Lauder. Mix it with your foundation. Mix it with your foundation. Said that kind of weird. Especially if you got something heavy like Studio Fix Fluid or Double Wear, it blends really well with those types of foundations and gives you really nice glowy skin. It's really good. I like it. That tip comes from Suzanne, who used to work at MAC, who, fun fact, I've talked about her before, we'll conclude that. She's in the old, like this is like the third video I did where I talked about how I store lipsticks in these like little stackable container things. Jay and I took a rubber chicken to MAC, and she was the one that was like, take pictures of the chicken putting on like the lipstick, and so her hand is holding up this mirror at the MAC counter while it's like got a little thing of it's got I think it's Viva Glam 1 like sticking out of its mouth. It's hilarious. So I talked to Mandy before I filmed this, and I asked, do you have any suggestions? This is the person who tagged me. And she said, say your most embarrassing moment. I have it, but in order to tell you that, I have to tell you another fact. We're up to 10. This is going to be long. I've done illustration work for years. My first job was actually as an illustrator. This will be the one, and then we'll do two more. My first job was as an illustrator. Are you keeping track? Because I'm going to ask you where the hell we are in a second. I was hired in middle school, so, job, to do a newsletter for the company that my mom worked for, obviously because she worked there. But I could do caricature drawings or whatever of the likenesses. I could recreate the likenesses of the owners of the company for their newsletter. So when they would do like a newsletter for holidays or summertime or whatever, I would do these illustrations and make a little money. That was my first gig. But I've done illustration work for years. I did a children's book once, actually. But I don't know if it went to publication. I was just hired by someone who I did not know. They just found me and hired me, and I did the illustration. They were the writer, and I just did the illustrations and handed them the stuff. And I don't know. It's just, we weren't like buds or anything, So the last job that I had that was illustration work was drawing porn for an adult company based out of Canada. And that's something that a lot of people are surprised by when they find out about. It was a bisexual adult website, and I used to do like basically dirty cartoons. I also did some like maybe more fine art type illustrations, like pencil sort of sketches. I tried to kind of mimic, I didn't really do a very good job, but I tried to kind of mimic the style in the old like 70s printing of Joy of Sex. I love that. I have a copy. I'm sure it's on this shelf right behind me. And I love it. It looks like it's the one where like the people look sort of like early man, like it's like before the razor was invented and everyone's super hairy. Yeah, I love that book. And so I tried to kind of mimic that style. But the point is, at any given time when I was doing these, because I would do these drawings in sort of like bulk, like I would do like a series of 10 or 12 every few months or so I could give myself a break, because it's not sexy drawing porn all the time. You're not really turned on. You're just looking at anatomy and trying to get things right. You're looking at a lot of pictures of porn and people screwing in different positions to give yourself some ideas and seeing how muscle, because it's hard to draw from memory every muscle, how it works. Although it did, I will say this, once I started the job, it did improve my anatomy drawing a great deal. So I got that out of it, which was kind of an added bonus, I guess. At any given time when I was doing these series, I was looking at a lot of porn, and there was a lot of porn on my desktop by my computer for ideas. Wink. And so at the same time that I was in the middle of a series of these drawings, a woman had hired me to do the invitations for her 40th birthday party. And so, which is really scary, because I remember at the time that I did this thinking, wow, 40, that's so old. I will be 43 this year. In August. My birthday's in the summer. Which I liked because I never had to do the birthday spanks. They don't do it anymore, but when I was a kid, they did the birthday spanks. So it didn't like scare me. It was just embarrassing. Yeah, so I was happy my birthday was in the summertime. But I'll be 43 this year. So at any given time, I had all these drawings. This is the point. I was hired to do a woman's 40th birthday party invitation. So I'm working on the invitations. She's rented out a theater, and it's supposed to look like a movie theater kind of pass. And I send the files to the printer to get it done. So it's like 5 or 6 o'clock one night on like a Friday, and I'm rushing. They're waiting around for it. I'm getting, so I email the files off to them, and I get an email back in a couple minutes. It says, I think you sent me the wrong file. Can you check again? And now I'm oblivious, completely oblivious at this point. I really did not know what the hell they were talking about. I'm like, I sent the right file, and I'm like, no, I did. I'm looking at it. But I'm like, I'm looking at the file. I sent you the right thing. And they wrote back, no, you didn't. Check it again. And so I'm fine. So I open it up. And I had sent them like full on like bukkake facial looking photo that was on my desktop from these drawings that I was doing, because I had all these reference drawings. And I sent them that. I like the file name was like similar apparently to 40th birthday party. And I'll let you use your imagination on that one. And so I sent it and it was the wrong photo. So I sent the right one. I wrote them a message in the email that said, there's a very good reason why that was on my desktop and I accidentally sent it to you, but you're not going to believe me if I tell you. So just have the laugh and just please do this file for me. And I never went back to that printer again. This is a bad video. Is this interesting? What are some other random... This is why people write things in advance, isn't it? Favorite movies. My favorite 3 movies of all time have always been, or what I've always said, American Beauty, Hedwig and the Angry Inch, and Under the Cherry Moon, which is a very underrated black and white Prince film from 1986 that you should watch. Did I mark that? Was that a thing? Did I do that? So those are 3 favorite movies. Oh, my favorite film genre is one that is a little obscure. You know, some people like horror movies, and I do. Science fiction romance. That's my favorite film genre. So what does that mean, you ask? Usually they involve time travel. Time After Time was a movie with Malcolm McDowell. That was really good. That would fall under the category. The Adjustment Bureau, that was good. Science fiction romance. The one with Christopher Reeve. Somewhere in Time. Ugh, such a good movie. Science fiction romance. There's a lot of good science fiction romance films. There was that recent one. It's About Time. Is that what it was called? With I don't remember who else was in it except for Bill Nye. That's the only actor I remember. I don't know why I said that actor. I had like a list. There's a glitch in the Matrix. That was so good. I thought it was so sweet. Such a really wonderful film. Science fiction romance is my favorite. Whenever there is a science fiction movie with a romantic kind of plot, I am all about seeing it. Favorite music, you guys know, I'm a huge Prince fan. I never listened to the radio. It's a fun fact. Never, ever, ever. Always hated the radio. Which meant that I also missed out on a lot when I was younger because I got my music from MTV, and MTV was very specific, especially in the 80s. They weren't really, in the early 80s, they weren't really offering that much. So you missed out on a lot if you weren't listening to radio and different radio stations. So, yeah, there's a lot that later on I'm like, that was out in the 80s? I've never heard that song before because I just got all my music from watching MTV. And really, I just used to, listen to Madonna nonstop, and that's really all I listened to. Pretty much. I was a material girl. My very first concert was Who's That Girl World Tour. Was it 1987? Is that right? I saw that. I still have the t-shirt from it. I saw Prince twice. Once I was pretty close to the stage, and that was pretty cool, in a small venue. That was awesome. That was for the Rainbow Children album, is what was out at the time. I don't remember what the name of the tour was. And I did buy a t-shirt at that point. I'm just remembering another story I can tell you. You see the corners of my mouth kind of turn up like, oh, that was embarrassing. That was the thing that happened. One of the best concerts that I've ever been to was the Spice Girls. 1997. I had just bought my house, and it was my birthday. Jerry was already gone by the time that they came to the States, but I went to see them. And I'm sort of a go to a concert and sit down and enjoy the music kind of a person. I'm not a big jump around and scream kind of a guy. It's one of the annoying things about that. I went to see Tori Amos when she toured for Under the Pink back in the day, and everybody treated it like a rock concert, and they were yelling, and I was like, shut up. What was I talking about? Spice Girls. Why was it so good? Because it was a sea of little girls dressed like Emma Bunton, and you can't not smile when you see thousands of little girls dressed like Emma Bunton, and they all have choreographed dances, and they're all dancing along with the ladies on the stage. It was so much fun. I got up and danced. Other really good concert that I've been to that really shocked me, like one of my best concert experiences that I was surprised by, was going to see Chris Isaak. A friend of mine told me, you need to go see Chris Isaak. She'd seen him twice. And I'm like, but why? He sings that one song, that Wicked Game song, but that's really all I could think of. I'm putting lip balm on because my lips are very dry. And she's like, no, you really need to go see Chris Isaak because it's an awesome show. So we got tickets. We went. We saw him on, it was one of the shows at the Pier in Seattle. Within 20 minutes, I'm rushing the stage with all the girls and like knocking people down and jumping around and screaming and acting like a fool. And I waited around afterwards to get him to autograph a pair of boxer shorts that I had. And I will tell you why Chris Isaak is so amazing. The music is good. The band is incredible. It's just a good fucking show with like really good songs. And even if you only know the one, it's like, oh, well, this is actually just a good concert. What makes it special, if you haven't seen him before, my phone was trying to vibrate, so I don't know, I'll sit on it, is that, while I'm talking about Chris Isaak, is that he sings these songs, these like nice, like romantic kind of songs, and then he talks to the audience really dirty. He's just got like a filthy mind, and he says nasty things that just sort of make you want to rush the stage with all the girls and scream and yell and throw your underwear at him. So that's the thing. That was one of the best concerts that I'd ever been to. Chris Isaak and the Spice Girls. It's pretty awesome. The thing that I was remembering that made me smile was another embarrassing moment. I went to go see the Colors of Christmas tour one year because I wanted to see Sheena Easton. I remember Sheena Easton and Peebo Bryson. I can't remember who else was in it, and I don't remember what year it was. It might have still been. It was still the 90s. It was like late 90s. And I went with my parents, actually. My parents and the guy that I was with at the time. And we're going into like downtown Seattle to like see the show before we go out to dinner. Big mistake. Some advice for you. If you have some anxiety, if you get nervous and your stomach is prone to getting upset, don't eat before an event. So we go out and we eat, and I have a burger like a fool. And then we're stuck in traffic on the freeway trying to get into the city, and I suddenly have to go to the bathroom. And when it's like that, I was telling somebody the other day, it's not like, oh, I have to go and we've got time. It's like, no, I have to go and we've got about 2 minutes to play with before I shit myself. So I'm in the car and I'm like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom. And my mom is very understanding. My dad's she's driving. He's in the passenger seat. The guy that I'm with at the time is sitting over here, and I'm behind her. And my mom is actually saying, "Take off your coat. Take off your coat and just go in the car." And I'm like, I'm not going to take off my jacket and shit in the car in front of everybody. While my dad is going, if you take off your coat and crap in this car. He was so mad. And I'm like, I'm not going to. It was awful. I felt like it was like Anthony Michael Hall in Weird Science when his mom was like, you said you were combing your hair. And he's like screaming. It was like that situation was happening. So eventually we get, and I'm seeing stars. Like I'm starting to like get really like where I feel like I'm gonna black out, and I'm just freaking out thinking if I faint, the first thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna shit myself. I know that. So I'm trying to remain conscious. We get into the city and I'm any place that I can go. I'm looking for bushes, but we're downtown. Everything has like uplights under it. There's no place to go. There's no alleys that I can find, nothing. So I tell them, I'm like, go to the theater, let me out. I didn't have this is before cell phones. This was so funny because now I wouldn't think to do that. How do you get a hold of me? But I'm like, I'll meet you at the theater. I just need to find a bathroom. So I jump out of the car. I'm running. I go up to like a shop window. This woman had just closed. I'm like, no, I'm sorry, we're closed. I'm like, you don't understand. So I go to, I find a restaurant above a shop and I run up there. I don't even ask anybody. I just like book it to the bathroom and get in there. And it was one of those situations where like when you have to go that bad, your body sees the toilet. Like, your eyes see it, and it tells your brain, it's time to go. And you're like going, no, 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 no. I don't have my pants off yet. But I did make it. And it was an adventure. And then I went to the concert. And it was a lot of fun. And that was that story. So that was an embarrassing moment. We're up to 5, 10, 15, 22. Holy crap. This is going to be like way too long. Let's think of some quick ones. As I take a total like mental block. I could tell you about Baxter, who's walking around and barking at everything right now. Baxter wasn't actually originally my dog. A friend of mine had him, and we just hit it off. I would dog sit for him, and we would we just bonded. When I met him, he was very skittish, and he did the whole thing. Like, he's a pound dog, and so he kind of crawled over to you and would roll over and pee on himself. And I noticed that when he would come over, he would sort of hoard his toys and get kind of like aggressive with the other dogs. And so I started just playing with him, because dogs need a lot of like playtime. So I would fetch, we'd go for walks. I started just doing stuff, and then we kind of, what are you doing, Papa? And then he's looking at me and wagging his tail. We kind of hit it off. And I've said this before, and I don't know if this sounds creepy, because sometimes I think it sounds creepy. I love my dogs. I love like all of the pets that I've had. I've never fallen in love with an animal until him. There was just a connection that just like I get. If I'm away from him for like more than like a couple hours, I start to wonder what he's doing, and I get kind of sad. And I've been told by people when I'm gone, if people are house sitting or something, that he won't eat and he will just stare at the door and wait for me to come home. And it's kind of, so we're best buds. Did I mark that one down? I don't know if I did, but we're gonna say that I didn't, because I'm going to do it now. I'm an only child. I also realized the other day that the people that I talk to the most, who I like call every day, are also only children, and I never realized that until yesterday. So I have no brothers and sisters, and I think I say this: if you are an only child, this is something that's kind of fascinating. Next time you're in a crowded place, grocery store, restaurant, whatever, look around the room, pick someone at random, and just tell yourself that they don't have any siblings, that they're an only child as well. You have an instant bond with that person. There's like this instant connection. You don't know exactly what each other's lives were like, but you kind of have a sense of certain things, of what it's like to be sort of the sole focus of your parents, both the good and the bad that comes with that. It's interesting, because I do notice that when I find out that people, because it's not very common. Most people have siblings, and when people don't, I'm like, oh, me neither. I imagine it's the same sensation when, like, if you're a redhead and you spot another redhead from across the room, you know that you were both called the same names. So there's probably an instant like connection that you can spot each other pretty quickly. I don't remember if I marked that one down, but I'm marking that one down again, because this is just taking so damn long. What are some basic ones we can go through? Let's just do a bulk amount of them. A bulk. I love Amy Sedaris. Strangers with Candy, quoted all the time, used to watch it constantly. My favorite color is probably orange, though I love red. I look good in red. I wear mostly black. Oh, I should mark these down. Dink, dink. And do I have a favorite food? No, not really. I actually don't like food. Food kind of pisses me off. I hate having to come up with things to eat. It just drives me crazy. And I tell people this a lot. If you have a lot of stomach problems, if you have like IBS things, if you didn't know what was going to make you sick, if you always struggled with it, yeah, you wouldn't like food either. Because when people find out that you don't like to eat, they're like, I don't understand. Like, no. Imagine that you don't know that when you eat, if something's going to get you sick or not. You would hate food too. I long for kibble. Dogs have it. Why don't people have it? We should be able to. Soylent Green. We need some Soylent Green. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We're halfway through, plus 2 more. That's how I do math. I'm bad at math. I'm really bad at math. I got a D minus in pre-algebra, but I was bumped still to algebra, and I failed that twice. No, I almost failed, but my teacher passed me with a D minus just to be nice, and then I failed geometry twice. That was my math fun in high school. Good times. I went to college. I dropped out of high school. I didn't graduate. There's one. I dropped out my senior year, but I wasn't going my senior year. I had already taken my GED. I already knew what I wanted to go to college for, and I was already, or what I wanted to do. Anytime someone asks me what I wanted to do, I want to be an artist. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, I've been answering this question for you the same since I've been in kindergarten. Why am I struggling at geometry? And I get it, but still. And so I left when I was a senior. I already had my GED. I tried to go into college, but I only went for a semester because high school sucks. Why would I like college? We need to talk. There's coffee in that nebula. I don't know, there's something about a sandwich that just irritates me. Jeff and I met at the gym. Jay and I met on AOL. Fun fact. And for his birthday this year, we did that video where we did Doris and Melba's makeup for his birthday this year. I wanted to tell you guys this because I was buying all this stuff and I kept wanting to do videos on this stuff, but I didn't. I knew he'd see it. I got him a makeup kit. I put it in the Joan Collins train case, and I got him his own makeup kit. Everything he needs to have to make Doris is in that kit so that he can, not that I don't enjoy doing it, but I really want him to learn how, and I was sort of a message of, I want him to know that I enjoy doing this, so this is something I want to keep doing. It's a lot of fun. And I really want to see what he does if he learns how to do it himself and kind of adopts the character, because we all have our own. I see Doris through my lens, but not through his. And so it's fun to get to see people kind of come up with their own things. That was his birthday present this year, was stuff for Doris. I actually got, I did a Mac palette, and I had ordered some, it was like a vinyl sticker that I'd ordered off Etsy that was cat eye glasses, and I put it above the Mac logo, and it looks so cool because it looks like Doris. It looks like Doris Cordon Bleu for Mac. It's really cute. Which would be a fun makeup collaboration. Somebody asked me once if I could make up a palette, what would it be? Fun fact, I don't like palettes. I like single eyeshadows because I like to make my own palettes, which sort of kind of answers the question. So if I was making a palette, it would be probably entirely mattes. I have frosted eyeshadow on right now, and I like it. It's pretty. But I like to be able to put frost or glitter on top of a matte look if I want to. I don't like kind of being forced into doing it. So I tend to gravitate towards matte shadows. Same with my lipsticks. I love matte lipsticks. I said this in I'll include this because I want to, and I want to finish the video. The Erica Jane kit comes with or Erica Jane collection for Too Faced comes with a lip kit called DSL, and I used to have a DSL look. If you don't know what it is, ask. And someone will answer it, or I will, and I want to see how many people ask. I used to have a DSL look in high school that I would do. It's what I called it. And it was black eyeliner, all like overdrawn on my lips, blended into like a bright red lipstick, and then, which was from L'Oreal. I don't remember what it was. And then a ton of gloss, like a ton of lip gloss. It was basically like gothic Robert Palmer girl video is kind of how it looked. I was also a goth in school. Fun fact. And I used to read, my favorite magazine, let's do this, was Propaganda. Do you remember, does anyone remember Propaganda magazine? Black and white, like independent kind of magazine, had pictures of goth people in it, and goth fashion, and goth style, and goth videos. And yeah, I listened to a lot of The Cure. My taste is kind of funny with music. 9 Inch Nails, Prince, The Cure. And the Prince thing always threw people when it's like, oh, I love 9 Inch Nails and I love The Cure. I have a difficult time perfume shopping. I love fragrance. I didn't always love fragrance. Let's call that a fun fact. I wore fragrance in high school, whatever was around. CK1, Escape by Calvin Klein. Obsession. I had a lot of Calvin Klein. Yope was my very first perfume. I think it smells like Christmas, and I don't know why. It smells like a lot of something. I should wear it today. That might be an okay winter fragrance. Here's a fun fact about me. We're just doing this willy-nilly now. I don't, people say like, what's your favorite fragrance for seasons? Winter? None. I don't like to wear perfume in winter. It's something I've noticed about myself over the last couple of years. So in high school, I used to wear a lot of Calvin Klein fragrances, and then I stopped for a long time. I didn't like being around perfume. I didn't like the smell. I didn't like it in my makeup. I didn't like it in anything. And then I started to discover other fragrances that I think I didn't have access to, and I discovered what I didn't like was that I didn't like a lot of stuff that's sitting in a department store. I didn't like a lot of stuff that everybody else was wearing. There are things in a department store that I like, but they don't put Shalimar right out there. They just don't. It's always like behind the counter. They're trying to get you to buy like the newer stuff. So I just didn't pay attention. Cinnabar, right? Estee Lauder. Youth Dew is not out on the counter. They're not marketing Youth Dew. But Bronze Goddess, the first time I smelled that, I decided to buy it. And that was the thing that really opened my mind up to like, wow, there are other fragrance possibilities out there. Like, this doesn't smell like something I've smelled before. And so Bronze Goddess really got me starting to hunt perfume down. And now I have, I counted the other day, I think about 120 bottles. Ranging from, I love drugstore stuff. I'll wear an aftershave, Clubman. What is it, like $1.99 for like the bottle? I love that. I will wear that. I will wear Jean Nité. It's in my shower, but I also have it in a spray bottle. I love it. I think it's like a woody, sandalwoody kind of lemony smell that I actually quite like. So I like White Shoulders. It's one of my favorite white florals. That's a drugstore perfume. But wintertime, I don't wear perfume. I don't like it. There's something about, like, I think it's too cold to wear fragrance. It doesn't, because everything is so cold, it just doesn't meld with my body as much as it does in the summertime. So I prefer spring, summer, fall. And I will go kind of traditional, like in the summer, I like kind of beachy, coconutty kind of smells. In the spring, I want to smell flowers. I want to smell like lily of the valley. I want powdery kind of smells. And in the fall, it goes into sort of more darker, tobacco-y kind of autumnal type fragrances. How many do we have here? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. We got 5 more. Let's talk about some perfume for a second. I want to do more perfume videos, for one. Favorite fragrance of all time? Probably Shalimar. Probably. Eau de Shalimar was a flanker that is insanely gorgeous, if you can still find it. It's Shalimar without, basically it's Shalimar without all the incensey kind of mid notes. So you get this gorgeous vanilla and lemon, and it smells like cake, and I love it. The Joan Collins I Am Woman is a gorgeous one. Amber, I love amber, but I love old amber. Amber right now, people are using amber to describe ambergris, and it's a very different fragrance. And so there aren't any rules in this. And perfume bottles, when they list the notes, that's not an ingredient list. That's just, I didn't mean to roll my eyes if you thought that it was. That's just giving you suggestions of what it's marketing. It's what the creator is saying. I also pay no attention to gender when it comes to perfume. I do not believe in gender when it comes to perfume. You don't have food for women. You don't have food for men. You don't have things. We don't smell differently in that way. It doesn't matter. Do you like it? Then wear it. That's all that matters. The idea that perfume has a gender, I believe, is one, fairly recent in terms of fragrance and history of fragrance, but also completely marketing. That's all it is. It's just selling you something. I got in an argument with a guy who I know who runs a clothing shop in town. He asked me what I was wearing one day, and I said Chanel number 19, and he said, oh, it smells really good, but isn't that a woman's fragrance? I said, yeah, but there's no such thing. Yeah, there is. No, but there's not. Yes, there is. And he started to get mad. I'm like, okay, but there's And I have a lot of women's perfumes. I tend to like them more. I don't like fougères very much. It's one of my least favorite categories, and a lot of male fragrances are fougères. It's sort of an herbaceous, think like Brut, which I have, but I don't like to wear. Things like that aren't really my jam. They don't seem to mix with me. I like to smell like I smell like flowers, or like vanilla, or amber, or I like civet. And a lot of people, it's an old ingredient, and it's synthetic now, but it smells kind of like cat urine. But with florals, I think that it can just really kind of set them off and give them this like earthy warmth that is really, really nice. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 40, 45. We have room for 2 more. Baxter, there's room for 2 more. Have I told you that I'm uncircumcised yet? Done. Baxter, come here and say hi. Fun fact, Baxter doesn't want to say hi. 50, come here, dude. I know. Come here. You haven't seen him in a while, but he looks exactly the same. Hi. But he needs a haircut. Thank you for kisses. Let's see. Can you sit up here and say hello? Don't eat my makeup. I should like... You can't. Oh, there we go. Hi. Hey, Baba. Don't make that face. Don't make that face. What are you doing? He's like, put me down. Why am I up here? Hi. Because I'm giving you hugs. You totally need a haircut. I cut his hair. Oh, there you go. That's 50. Baxter loves getting his hair cut. I have to be careful though, because as soon as he hears the clippers, I got dog hair on my lip. As soon as he hears the clippers, he lays down and rolls over on his back. He loves the vibration on his belly, and he will fall right to sleep. So when I'm cutting his hair, I have to like rotate him, like grab his legs and flip him this way and do this side, and then flip him this way, and I cannot get him to stand up. So it's really hard to do this part and like the top of his head, because he will not. You kind of have to hold him and try and do it, because as soon as he hears the clippers, he's just like on the floor, spread out, ready to feel the vibration on his belly, because he really likes it. Which is nice, because, you know, it would be a pain in the ass if he didn't like it. He needs it, because he doesn't shed, and his hair just gets longer and longer and longer and longer and longer, so he needs haircuts, and he lets me cut his hair, so it's kind of fun. All right, guys, 50 random facts about me. I hope that was interesting. I hope you had a drink, because I definitely need one now. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask them. Any comments, feel free to share them. If you'd like to do this, feel free to do it. And yeah, that's it. So thanks. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to take him for a walk before it gets dark, because I've been sitting in front of this thing for a long time now. Because I filmed this first and then this. I need to be done. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.